that? Well, beaten by 6 goals at stoppages, beaten by another 6 goals from basically turnovers, inability to score ourselves, and inability to defend the turnover when we didn't score. Equals 82 points, I think.
What element of it concerns you the most, I suppose?
Well, no, I'm not going to rank them. They're all a huge concern, and some of it is hopefully, or from our perspective, the turnover is just the ball use out of character, because that's certainly not what we've been building to, and not the evidence that's been provided through training in the pre-season, although in the JLT series we never really got it together either. So, you know, can be an argument made that there was an expectation that we just turn it around, you know, in terms of our ball use. But, you know, that ball use is one thing, and having a forward line that's dysfunctional, but then when you can't defend that either. I mean, we got the ball back 13 times in our forward half when Fremantle had it. 13 times in a game where, you know, they did the same about 40 times. So, and the problem with that is twofold. One, they control the game, they control territory, and we don't score. And not only that, they go back and score on the back of it. So when you butcher golden opportunities going forward and they go back and score, when you don't take advantage of that, that's a huge concern on two fronts.
Is this something that can be a quick fix, or do you think there's a deeper issue here that might take a while to kind of iron out?
Well, that's not the evidence that we've seen today. I mean, we saw it today, so time will tell on that one. But what I do know is it requires a forensic review, and it requires an enormous amount of work to be done to rectify the issues, both offensively and defensively. You know, and that doesn't, you know, there's another 6 goals from stoppages, and, you know, I think 27 of those points from centre bounces. So, you know, that adds up to a, you know, I don't think any of those issues are insurmountable, but when you combine them together on one day, it probably highlighted a vulnerability we had with our back six, with it being sort of decimated through the pre-season. But when you get all the other areas of the game wrong, then it highlights that issue. And then, you know, early in the game we lose our next key defender, Ed Vickers-Willis, to a probable ACL. So that just, you know, whatever could go wrong did today. But, you know, I'm not going to let it define our season. You know, we're just not what we're about. And we've been in last year not so bad, but in the past we've had some poor games, and generally we respond, and that's what I expect of this coaching group, and it's certainly what I expect of the players.
Turnovers, how much do you put it down to skill or inability to handle pressure? Where do you think it's coming?
Well, I mean, skill errors come from probably 3 or 4 factors, and that's you know, technical error, which is obvious. It's a decision-making error, you know, which is obvious, and then there's dysfunctional patterns forward of the ball to give the ball carrier options, and then the fourth way is opposition pressure. So I think we had a pretty good example of all 4 of those today.
You warned during the pre-season that if things got away from clubs, it'd be very hard for coaches to do much about it. How did you feel up there today trying to fix what was going on?
Yeah, well, no surprise in terms of your inability to hold up, particularly, you know, when the opposition kicks so many goals from centre bounces, you're limited in terms of the things you can do. Yeah, but as I said, it wasn't one particular area today. It was most of them. And when you have poor games in all of those areas, it can add up to that score. Now, does that mean that you're just a terrible football team? Well, I don't believe that. And, you know, but I think on the evidence provided today, most people will think that, and that's fair enough. But it's what we do from here that matters. And, you know, I've got a lot of time for this playing group, and, you know, I know they'll respond, but talk's cheap. We've got to do it.
What do you expect from them, Brad, in the 7-day turnaround? What do you want to see from them to make sure they respond?
Oh, well, first things first. I mean, I've got to provide them all the the examples and put a clearly defined path forward. And then that's the first thing. So I've got to take responsibility for what happened today, and then define the path forward, and then we've got to execute. But I don't think, as I said, that it's as poor as it looks, because it's just components of the game that all came together today, and I haven't seen that in a long time from our group. So, how we respond to it will be interesting.
How's because Willis holding up?
I haven't spoken to him yet. He's off with the doctors and getting a scan. But I mean the early prognosis isn't good. So he ran into the goalpost last year and did a PCL. Now suspected ACL. He's had 2 shoulder reconstructions. It's a brutal game sometimes.
How much does your heart bleed for him when you see a player who puts in so much effort and
Yeah.
gets taken away from them?
Yeah, look, we see him as he's in our leadership academy. He's got some great attributes, both as a player but also as a leader around our football club. And it's been a really hard and long road for him. But the evidence he's provided as a defender has been exceptional. We just haven't been able to get him out there enough. And now this is another test of his character. And so, yeah, you feel for them, but we've got to support him as best we can. But clearly we've got a lot of things to do over the next 7 days.
And other injuries today? Saw a few players got some marks. Mason Wood picked off.
No, he's fine. No, just a few bumps and bruises, but everyone else is okay.
Looking for positives, Bailey Scott. What do you think of his?
Yeah, he just played as we knew he would. Yeah, he was good. Yeah, he's got a really bright future in the game. He's a great role model for other young players because he's just a great preparer. He's a thorough professional, and he's been, while this is his first game, he's been working towards this day for at least 3 or 4 years. So he just played as we knew he would, and that was our instruction. Just do what you've been doing through the pre-season, and he did it again today. So that's. We had some guys in the VFL perform pretty well too. So, I suspect there'll be changes after a result like that. We've got some youth that we'd like to bring in at some point, but I didn't suspect it'd be this early, but it may.